find out who's in the workshop. Boom. It's a very frosty Sunday morning here in New Zealand, North Island, pretty much in the middle of the North Island. Very, very cold. Minus, what was it in the car this morning? -1. That's quite chilly, to be fair. Bear with me. There we go. Finally caught up. Excellent. Roger Heaps. Morning, Andy and crew. Good morning, Roger. Welcome back, matey. Hope it's not too cold down your neck of the woods. -1 here this morning. Widespread frost and frozen cars. Yes, let's defrost the car before we go out and buy some more cigarettes. Terrible. Jeez. Anyway, we're here. We're back. I was in the workshop all day yesterday. I didn't do a lot last Sunday. Mrs. Mechanic said, no, you're too tired. You're not going in the workshop. You got a long way to drive on Monday. Do some editing or something. So I did. I didn't quite finish the video. I thought, I'll finish it when I get, on the road. During the week, on an evening, nothing else to do. Man, I was busy, really busy last week. Well, yeah, this last week gone, and just didn't have time on an evening. Lugged 2 laptops around me, work laptop, personal laptop. Never got my personal laptop opened up. Never got any more editing done. So my plan, I know I shouldn't because it's a workshop day, and I really need to push hard. So maybe I won't. Maybe I'll push hard today and try and make some time during the week. I'm going to be in Auckland Monday night, Tuesday night. So I've got the engine stand video. There's more on that. We're going to have a little look around what I've done so far again. It's still in lots of bits. Still filming. I'm on episode 4. I've broken it up into episodes. It's way too long to have as a single video. I wouldn't inflict that on you. Anyway, cigarette. Okay, with the Jane Governor. Good evening, Andy and crew. How is everyone doing? Well, I can't speak on behalf of everybody else. I'm doing all right. I'm probably running about 70% power at the moment. Not completely knackered. Had a good day yesterday in the workshop. It's important with these kind of projects that you enjoy them. If as a creator for YouTube, and I'm making this for Ben, this engine stand. Didn't deliberately make an engine stand just to make some videos. So there's 2 reasons for this particular job that I need to really just slow down, enjoy the whole process. I know Ben's chomping at the bit, wanting to get the stand in his workshop and get the engine on it so he can make a start. But, this is something for Ben, from me, that's going to last my lifetime. It's going to last probably Ben's lifetime as well, and to get handed down to somebody else. So, only going to make one. Take your time, make a good job of it, have a little think, put the extra little features in there, give it the Andy Mechanic stamp of approval kind of thing, how I normally do stuff. And also, you do feel pressurized as a creator to churn out the videos and get them up on the channel. And there's a lot of people out there that have YouTube channels that very much do that. They have a very strict routine. They have uploads every other day, every day, whatever it is. Some have massive teams of editing guys and, social media people that spin things up and stuff. I don't. There's just me. I enjoy it, and I need to always go back in my mind to why I started the channel, because I enjoy, passing on a few skills and bits and pieces that I've picked up over the years. I'm not an expert by any means in any particular area. There's people out there that are far more knowledgeable than I am. But I'm one of the people that's prepared to make the effort to put it into video and to edit them up. And, I'm pretty confident, based on the feedback that I've had over the last 9 to 10 years, that it's doing all right. It's okay. And I'm just sort of, as regards the channel, it's just treading water. It's just chugging away quite nicely, heading towards the 100,000 subscribers. And then once I've retired, and that might be tomorrow, I think so. Don't ask. I'm not going to discuss it, right? Last week had a bombshell on Thursday, but I'm not going to talk about it at all because I'll get into trouble, because it's a current pending issue. But anyway, so, you know, maybe I'm going to retire in a week. Maybe I'm going to retire in a year. Maybe I'm going to retire, God forbid, in 10 years, whenever it is. So the channel just treads water until I retire. As you know, there's about 130 hidden videos that are going to dump onto the channel. Not all at once, right? I'll spread them out over probably a year, you know, one every other day, just boost the channel, give the channel a really good boost. You'll see a much younger Andy. But don't forget, by the time we get to that, it won't be 130. It'll be more like 230, maybe 300 videos that have all sat in the background, which would literally give me, you know, 2 years of videos to release every other day, almost. You know, it's just, plus all the other stuff that I'll be doing, because I'll be retired and nothing else to do. It'll be fantastic. But anyway, I thought it had got out. Who else have we got in the workshop? We have, oh, Roger, 3 degrees here. It's balmy. Absolutely balmy in Invercargill compared to what it is here. I'm sat on the heater. Mrs. Mechanic will tell me off for not wearing my coat. I have a really nice sort of body warming, I think you call it, the thing without the arms. But it's got a name on it that I can't show on the channel, and I wear it a lot in the workshop when I'm not filming. It's a cold day. It keeps your back nice and warm. It's really long. It's really good, but I can't wear it on camera. And we've tried taping over the name and stuff, and it's one of those wax type ones, like a farmer's wear and stuff, and the tape just falls off. So I might have to get Mrs. Mechanic to pick off the stitching or the embroidery that's on it, and then that way I can wear it, you know, when it's cold, like now. Anyway, it's all good. Simon Rawl, morning Andy and crew. Good morning, Simon. Welcome back to the workshop, matey. Hope all is well out on the water. I saw you post. Been out in the boat again. Good man. It looks a lot warmer than it is here. -1 at the moment. Jim K, hello. Good morning, Jim. Welcome back, sir. Hope you had a good week. JJ, morning Andy and crew. Good morning, JJ. Thumbs up all around. Simon, your eye has still fully not gone yet. I know. Oh, look. It's smaller, and of course it did burst. And it's not yellow anymore. It's just a bit red, and, you know. So I'm about to go back to the doctor's. It's not ideal, is it? You know. And if you're on the inside of the eyelid, you can see it as well. It goes all the way through. It's weird. But thank you, Simon. Appreciate the concern. The real Daz 03. Morning, Andy and crew. Good morning, Daz. Welcome back, matey. Connor K. Good morning, Andy and crew. Good morning, Connor. Hope all is well in your neck of the woods. And, you know, the seas are calm. I suppose that's a good way of putting it. Jim K. What the heck? Huh? What? Oh, is that in response to my bombshell thing? Probably. And we're not talking a blonde either. Mrs. Mechanic's probably listening. Simon Rawl. The thing is, same as me, that workshop in your backyard can pay the bills if needed. It can. There's year on year, and this is no word of the lie, year on year here in New Zealand, good, competent technicians, whether it's motorcycle, cars, whatever, they're getting harder and harder to find. You know, they really are. And I've never had a problem getting a job. You know, I get job offers probably on average, probably every 2 to 3 months. I'm very happy with the job that I'm in. I've tried to make it my own, like I was told. I've done it now for over 8 years. Started on, I think it was the 5th of May, 2017, which seems a very long time ago. And it also seems, yes, it seems a very long time ago, and it seems that there's a lot more than 8 years have gone by. A lot's changed during that time, you know, especially my job as well. It's evolved quite significantly, and it's gone away. It's drifted away year on year away from the original remit. It's quite bizarre, to be honest. But anyway, enough about that. We don't want to talk about that. So, what the heck? Yes, so yeah, I'll always get by. It's not a problem at all, I don't think. The same for you, Simon. You know, if need be, it works, doesn't it? You know, you can do it. I worked for myself for 15 years, 14, 15 years in the UK, and it was great. Had a lot more respect than what I get at the moment, I'll tell you that. Oh, hang on, we won't go there. Okay. Um, Richard Perry, hi Andy and crew. GB badge. Which side is it on? It's on that side. There you go. GB badge. Thumbs up. Nice. Thanks, Richard. I do like that flag, to be honest. It means a lot to me. Yeah, it's good. So, I'll finish my cigarette now. Oh, the pie we've got. I'm not going to open it just yet because we're still smoking. We came across another. I had to go shopping yesterday morning, which diluted my workshop time somewhat. I had to go and post something. We sold a gentleman. I forget his name now. Has purchased. If you're watching, has purchased a 700cc ROV stroke ATV primary sheave holder. Nice. Lives in Canada. Nice. So it's all packed up and ready to go. And I went all the way, you know, a good 60 kilometre round trip. We had to go shopping as well, but about 60 k's from here, and round trips, about 30 k's from here to the post office to post it for him. You know, international post, about $60, I think it is. And they were closed. Yes, closed on Saturdays. So that mission failed. So I'll have to get it posted next week when I'm in Auckland. So if you're watching, apologies. I did try. Some good news. Some very good news. One of the possums is dead. Yes. It was collapsed in Ben's workshop, and it had fallen from somewhere, taken a few things out as it fell, and then came to rest in the spare wheel of his Nissan Patrol pickup. So it's sort of, you know, just laying there in this semicircle. So, you know, he's gone. He's now gone. We know that there's quite a few more because last night they seem to have a habit of jumping off the house roof down into the tree. We've got a big pine tree at the front, and then jumping out of the pine tree down onto the ground. And so you get this big loud thump right outside my bedroom window. And there was more than one thump. One of them was massive. It must be a huge possum. So there's still a few more to go, but we'll keep feeding them, you know, because we like to try and look after them. Not really, it's not that kind of food. But they do like it very much. Anyway, today's pie, talking of food, Westy Grunta found another one. This has got a hot rod on the front. Nice, look at that. And this is bacon and egg. So it must be fantastic because it's got bacon in it. We'll find out. It's 200 grams, it's an average size pie. I was very sad to see yesterday in the supermarket, quite a number of these Westy Grunta pies were being sold cheap because their sell-by date was about to expire. You know, got to get it off the shelf, get something for it. They were selling them for just over $3 each. So we bought a few, had some yesterday. Didn't have the bacon and egg, saving that for you guys for today on the live stream. So yeah, yesterday I didn't actually kick off in the workshop until about probably 11:30 by the time I got set up and ready to do stuff. Had a good day though. Everything seemed to sort of fall into place, and we'll cover what I've done so far. Not really a spoiler alert because you guys are the loyal viewers, and I think you deserve to see things a little bit in advance. And if you want to see the process of the build, then obviously you can watch the 4 videos that will be so far. I don't think there'll be 5 episodes. I'm hoping it's just 4. The Giants, what was the cost of the postage? It worked out about 60 New Zealand dollars to send, basically it weighs about a kilogram to Canada. Its postage out of New Zealand is not cheap at all. It's horrendously expensive. I imagine if you're sending it from China, it'd be about $3 probably, based on the stuff you can buy on Temu and things. Simon, you need a Kawakatsi, yeah, that's the one. Shot cat. Me and cats don't get on. They're not loyal enough. And there is a saying, a theory, that if you were to pass away in your house on your own with a cat, it doesn't take very long for the cat to get hungry and start to eat you. Yes, I can't imagine a dog doing that, to be honest. I think a dog's a lot more loyal. And cats just bugger off for the day and then they come back when they want feeding. I don't really get on too well with cats, and I'm actually allergic to their hair. So, not ideal. But it's ideal for me because I don't really like them anyway. So, I've got a good excuse not to have one here. Mrs. Mechanic would definitely have a cat if it wasn't for me, for sure. But yeah, sorry, Simon, there won't be any cats here. Unless we end up having to house sit one for, well, the cat would be here rather than us there. But we'll wait and see. I just don't know. I mean, it definitely won't be on camera, that's for sure. Jim K, oh man, could have posted that for you. You could have done, couldn't you? Oh well. Next time, Jim. Thank you. Sheldon. Good morning, Andrew. Andrew. I'm in trouble. And crew. Big wave. Morning, Sheldon. Hope all is well in your world, sir. Good to have the little chats during the week. It keeps me going, to be honest. Things have not been that easy this week. Not first part of the week was fine. Just tired. Second part of the week, from about 12:08 p.m. on Thursday, didn't go well. But that's all right. We can talk about it in the future. Jim Haynes, a little late, but hit the like button, and I'm waiting for the go-kart frame. Yes, that and the lathe, the little Myford lathe. I know. I feel very sorry for Ben that it's still in bits. I'm not too sure what to do with that one at the moment. There's still a few little bits and pieces that I need to get hold of. One of which is the aluminum pulley that sits on the. I think it sits on the lathe shaft, not the main shaft. The lathe shaft at the top. So the motor feeds that, and then that feeds the main shaft. From memory, I could be wrong. Through gears, yeah, through gears and stuff like that. And well, the one I've got's worn out. Clearly, it's worn out. Need a new one, and there's no new ones available. So I may, and this is sacrilege, I know, I might end up buying another one, a second lathe, the same model. There's quite a few around actually here in New Zealand, so it wouldn't be too bad, and they're not that expensive. Another one that needs a bit of work, but it's got the good bits on, and I can make one good one out of two, because the bed on that one is it's quite very worn towards the chuck end where you normally have the carriage, and also the previous owner, Dave, decided to grind some big chunks out of it. Not that it stops it being used, but it just looks bad, doesn't it? So maybe that's what's going to happen. I'll keep my eye open now and again for another one. I know it's sort of cheating, making one good one out of two, but it might actually work out just as cheap, basically. And there is the added benefit that it refreshes my mind how the thing goes together. Otherwise, I've got to watch all my videos and remember it, because it's been a while, hasn't it? Now then, where do we get to? Yes, go-kart frame. Thanks, Jim. Now then, Vijay, so many post offices have closed down in South Africa. Always owned by the government. Yeah, well, you know, that's the way they are, isn't it? If it's losing them money and they cut public services, if it's owned by the government, then yeah, happened in England quite a bit. Okay, so this is the pie. We'll get the pie in the warmer because it's bloody cold in here, and then we'll come back to the comments. So this is, if you just joined us, a Westie Grunta. We've done the mince and cheese one previously, and the supermarket had some more, which is great. And this one is a bacon and egg, so it should be fantastic. 200 grams, standard size pie. Grab another great Westie. Okay, so, and this one's got a hot rod on the front. I do like the idea to put different cars on the front. Somebody spent a long time drawing all those cars. So, bit of work got into the whole thing. Now, I had one of these yesterday, not this flavour, and it was incredibly hard to get out of the bag. I don't know, and this one's exactly the same. I don't know what's going on, how on earth they managed to get them in the bags. There we go, right. Okay, so structural check first of all. What's that? A bit of machine. There we go. Get rid of that. Dum 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 dum. Pretty good. I think the last one was quite soft at the base, so we'll keep an eye on that. And there's the lid. So it's structurally very intact at the moment. It feels pretty solid. Should be good. It's got bacon and egg in it, so fingers crossed. Right, turn you around. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Oh, there we go. I know. Oh, there's the. Oh, sorry. There's the. I managed to move the valve grinding machine. I'll have a quick look at that first, actually. Extremely heavy to lift on my own, to be perfectly honest, but we got it there in the end. So it's sitting there for now. There might be another one of those coming this way that hasn't got the little bit here that's broken off. So I might have two. God. Why? Why would you want two, Andy? Anyway, okay. The pie. Keep the focus. We'll chuck the pie in, then we'll have a quick look at this engine stand that's been built. Right, there we go. Pie is in. Obligatory 23 minutes as it came out of the fridge. There's my cupboard. All sorts of stuff in there, look. Very useful little cupboard, and rat and mouse proof, which is brilliant. It's the one place in the workshop. It does get a bit dusty in there, as you can see, but it's all right. Okay, here we go. What you've been waiting for. So I was going to assemble it last night so you could see everything, but I thought, well, no, maybe we should save the assembly bit and see it all together on the actual videos. So, what have I done since you last saw it on the last live stream? Okay, so obviously it's got the caster wheels. This one's a bit ropey on the bearing. I hope it's going to be all right. I've oiled it, but it's still pretty rough. This one, much better. It's nice. But they're all standard size mounts, so if need be, we could always get some more casters if we need to. But I think it'll be all right for now for this job, because it's not like you're pushing it around a lot. Okay, so I've welded on the rear stays, the mounts for the locking mechanism and the adjustment mechanism of the upright. And we've got, this is all 10mm plate, by the way, so it's pretty damned hefty. We've got the pad that the bolt, the adjustment bolt, which is here, sits on. And the very astute of you will recognize this bolt. This was used. This is the biggest bolt ever in the workshop, and this is a bit of a socket that was welded to a plate. So I've repurposed that, and that's now my adjusting bolt. Like I said, it's the biggest one I've got. I'm pretty sure it'll be strong enough. It seems to work pretty well. So that pivots with that bar off the hull. Down there, you see, look, you see. So this is upside down, by the way. Just you know, if the wheels didn't give that away, then you know, you're not that dumb, are you? So that's sorted. The big steel plate is all drilled and bolts to the hub, which is down there. The brake disc is on. I've drilled it. Yes, that was the last job yesterday. The brake disc is drilled, and we have the angle plate that sits against the disc. Now, at the moment, it's got a bolt in it. I think Ben wants just a bolt in there. He doesn't want a spring-loaded plunger thing. That might get made at a later date. Because having a bolt, it completely locks the whole thing up. There's no jiggly, you know? So when you're doing things that require torque and you're applying torque to the engine, it's not going to, you know, move at all. That's the plan. So that's about as far as we got yesterday. So I did that yesterday, got all that drilled out and the bracket made and stuff, and I made the. Oh, look at these! Look at that! That's a proper little bracket, isn't it? Looks pretty cool. So these little triangle bits. In fact, I'll show you on the live stream. So we'll go over here. Boom, 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 boom. Now, you might remember the footwell plate support kits that we made. So many of. Well, on the last few, I asked them to save me all the little bits that are cut out by the laser cutter. And we ended up with buckets of them. So these are all the speed hole circles and the triangle bits. And there's a bucket there and a bucket there and another tin there full of them as well. So I have a lifetime supply of this kind of stuff. 6mm plate. You know, they are really good. You can make washers out of them, you can make all sorts of stuff out of them. I've actually used 2 of these in my ute on bulldog clips to take that clip to the air vent, and then I have another Bulldog clip with a magnet on it, which then clips to this, and I put my receipts on them. It's brilliant, so simple, but just makes my life that bit easier. You know, when you're driving around and you're spending lots of money, other people's money, you've got to keep all your receipts. I know about the go-karts. Me and Jared have a laugh every now and again. Yes, it's not good. What else have I done? So the plasma cutter's out. I have been plasma cutting the odd bits, which has been really good, actually. However, it did have a bit of a brain fart, and it blew out the side of one of the guides. Is that going to focus? There, look. So it's blown that one out. I don't know what happened. It was weird. Anyway, I'm not sure if it happened recently or if it happened ages ago. No idea. But it's very good. Very, very good. But what stopped me from using this was the power supply. So if we come over here, we had that socket put in. Now that's actually a 3-phase socket, which takes, if we come around here, which takes this plug, right? And the electrician said, "Oh, you must only ever use this for your MIG, and I will put this plug on the MIG for you." Well, in the end, I decided, hey, no worries, we'll make a little adapter down to a 16 amp plug, and now I can run anything off it. So the MIG's now got a 16 amp plug back on it again, the original plug, and this already had a 16 amp plug on it. So I can now plug it in and use it, and it's brilliant. So very, very happy with that. It's now, you know, come from underneath the bench, and it's going to basically sit on top of that trolley for a while I'm using it. It's just great. So I'm very happy we've actually got the use of that now. And lastly, before we sit down, have another cigarette, because my coffee's going to get cold. No, I have not cleaned the lathe yet. And yes, I have used the lathe. I'm going to have to pull the chuck apart. It's absolutely solid with aluminium swarf. I lubed it yesterday. It's very tight to turn, and it gets tighter the further out you go, and I can't get it all the way in, so I have to use a bar. I have to use a bar on like that, which is wrong, isn't it? But I've got jobs to do. Don't leave that in there. Ooh, you know, it's not ideal. I tied it up the shelf as well, by the way. Look, I found a job for my battery tender thing, so repurposed that. Yes, we've still got a few of those left, but we haven't really started to push them yet to all the other bike shops. So one day we'll get around to doing that. I know, brings money in as well, Andy. Why don't you just do it tomorrow? Well, Andy's busy. The workshop's been a mess for the last month while I've been doing this engine stand. Yeah, I'll get around to tidying it up when I've finished, I think. Oh, I've got some more news, actually. Let me just turn you around again. 3, 2, 1, boom. So, the Hollytech pillar drill, which is, if I just turn you around again, sorry, turn you around, boom. That one, right? My main pillar drill press, the idler pulley in the middle, which you've seen, and you know, I've destroyed it basically. I tried to weld it's cast iron, tried to weld it up and machine it, didn't work. Simon's given me some good pointers. I could use a grinder in, you know, a little grinding wheel and clean, you know, with the lathe, and actually be able to grind it out. But I thought, it's just pricey. See if I can get hold of another one. And I'd already tried once, and I couldn't find a supplier for that brand of pillar drill. So I tried again, and I did find an importer here in New Zealand. They mainly do woodworking stuff. Hollytech do a lot of woodworking stuff nowadays, with modern woodworking gear. I don't think they make the pillar drills anymore, but they said, look, we'll email the factory in Taiwan and see if they can supply a pulley, and it comes with the bearing in it. And I said, okay, no worries. And it came back $200. And I thought, oh, that's all right. I don't mind spending $200 on it. That's not that much money, realistically. I paid $500 for the whole drill, second hand. $200, cope with that. Oh, but there'll be some freight. Okay, how much is the freight? Oh, it's $385, sir. What? $385 on freight for a $200 part. Oh yes, then there'll be import duty of $85, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, how much is the total? Oh, just over $700. I said, I'm not paying $700 for an idler pulley. So I was pretty pissed at that point. So it's still broken. And I thought, well, it's done me well. I'm not going to scrap it. And I can make a new pulley on the lathe. I've got the aluminum down there. I can make one out of aluminium. But it'll take a bit of time. And I want to take my time doing it, so I make a nice one. So it's going to have to wait. So I went on to Trade Me, which is the New Zealand version of eBay. And I'm going to see if I can find the picture for you. Just bear with me for a second, because you'll like this. It's not the best picture in the world. It's not a bad picture, though. Where is it? What was that long ago? There. Right. I don't know how well you can make this out, but there are two pillar drills in that picture. Okay. And I've bought one. Now, the reason why I was drawn to those pillar drills, and I was just having a little look. I wasn't planning on buying anything, Mrs. Mechanic. I wasn't actually planning on buying anything, but it so happened I had enough money in my account, which is most bizarre. They were being sold by Automotive College. So a little college where they, do woodworking and metalworking and things, which means that they probably haven't had a very hard life. Not like they would do if they were in industry. And they were both for sale at $400 each. And I thought, well, and they're a 750 watt motor. So they're a reasonably powerful motor on them. I'm not too sure what that one is. Belt drive, 16 speeds or something, whatever it is. And it looks okay. The only downside is it's a full height pillar drill, so it's mounted to the ground, which I might have to cut it down to make it bench mounted, but that's easy enough. I'm sure I can work that out. But it doesn't have the round table, the adjustable table that you drill on. It has a square one, and I'm not really a fan of square ones. It's okay on little Priscilla over there, but when you're doing the big stuff, a round table I find is a lot more versatile because you can turn it and do angles and that kind of thing. So, yeah. It'll be a good drill, I'm sure, and it was very, very cheap for what it was. I was looking at an auction recently, Skylark, with a C at the end. Skylark spelt with a C at the end. Big engineering company in Auckland that's fallen into receivership, I believe. They had an auction about 2 months ago, the first auction, through Trade Me again. And I had my eye on an engineer's flat plate. Have never had one. Really, I've always wanted one. And there was only, I think, maybe one or two in that auction, and they went for stupid money. Now, a new engineer's flat plate, something about a 1.5 by 1.5 in old money, or 450 mil by 450 mil. It's a cast iron thing. It's got a lattice underneath, so it keeps it nice and flat, which is the idea. A new one of those here in New Zealand is about $3,000. Yeah, it's a ridiculous amount of money. So a new one's never, ever going to happen. So I thought, well, if I get one, it's going to have to be a second-hand one. And the two on that auction went for stupid money. They went for like $900,000 or whatever it was. Way out my league. Anyway, recent auction came up, had a little look. There were 6. So I mentioned it to Dave, who used to own the Myford lathe. I said, hey, there's some engineer's flat plates for sale. Have you got one? Do you want me to bid for you? Because he was going to be away that weekend, and it finished on the Sunday. And I was successful. I got mine for $305, which I thought was fair. And Dave's, which was a bid for mine first, obviously, because I wanted to. And then I decided to bid for Dave's, and his was $355. Mine's a little bit bigger than his, which is fine. It's just the way it turned out. I was just happy to get one. But on there, I was also looking at pillar drills, drill presses, and there was a nice one that would have done the trick, but it went for over $1,000. So I'm like, nah, it's just not going to happen. You know, I'm just not spending that kind of money at the moment. We've got a little Priscilla we can manage. We've got another one in the corner there, which is our backup one. So we're not doing too bad for drill presses. But we've got another one now coming. I've got to pick that up on Tuesday. Woohoo! So we've got an engineer's flat plate coming, and we've got another drill press, which will be great, because I was thinking about the Hollytech one. And of course, you know, umming and ahhing about this pulley. Do I just buy one, you know? Spend the money, why not? And then I thought, well, hang on, it needs a new chuck. It needs new belts. It needs a bit of money spending on it to get it back up to being operational. It also doesn't have an emergency stop button. It's just got an old light switch grafted onto it, which is not a problem for me, but it's something else you got to consider. So at the moment, the Hollytech is just going to sit there for a little bit. It might even, I don't want to, because it'll be less likely it'll get fixed, but I might have to move it somewhere else to accommodate the other one, because I have no wall space at all for a full standing pillar drill at the moment. Anyway, right. Scrolling back. Right. For James, we were talking about post offices closing in South Africa. My mother is very afraid of cats. For me, that's very funny. Really? Scared of cats? I'm not scared of cats. Sheldon. I must be in email mode this morning. Sheldon's in email mode. Email mode. What's he on about? Ooh. Yes, June K. I'll be looking forward to your call. No problem, Jim. We will do that. Not too sure when, but we'll do that. Yeah. Right, Roger Heaps. We might let our dogs have puppies soon. You'd love a puppy. Funny you should say that. Me and Mrs. Mechanic were just joking about what dog to get in the future. We're not replacing Marmite as such. Marmite will always be Marmite, and we do miss her very, very much every day. But we also miss having a dog. And I said to Mrs. Mechanic, hey, you know, why don't we get one a bit like what Roger's got down in Invercargill? You know, not that big. And she just looked at me and she's like, no, it's massive. It's bigger than me. I can't get, no, you're not having a dog that big. And I was like, no, I'm only joking. We really couldn't have a dog as big as that, Roger. It just wouldn't work for us at all. It's we're small dog people. We used to have some black Labradors in the UK, and they were cool. And you know, but here in this little house, they wouldn't work. And a dog your size, you know, was it a Ridgeback? I think you said it was. Is it a Ridgeback? Not a chance. It just wouldn't work at all. No. Marmite was great. She just was very easy to manage. Couldn't do it. But I appreciate the offer, but couldn't do it. Simon, send a list over for the Myford. Barry will have them. Okay. I'll try and get that done next time I'm at home. I'll have to go through what I'm still missing. I know there's some grub screws and that pulley and stuff. Then I'll have to put the lathe back together, won't I? Anyway, thank you, Simon. John Nuttall. Andy, we really need someone to help you sort the back to front image we are seeing. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know. Yes. It's a Samsung S20 is the phone. But I don't think it's a phone thing. I think it's a YouTube thing. And I know a lot of YouTubers use dedicated cameras and stuff for their live streams. I don't. I just use my phone. So maybe that's why there's the point of difference. But you're right. It's a little bit annoying because it's my left eye that's got the sty, not my right eye, which obviously it looks weird, a bit weird to you on your camera, TV, video, firm thing. But yeah, you're right, John. It is annoying. Simon had one of their moments this week. Bought a crash-damaged outboard. Huh? How do you crash an outboard motor? You reverse into something. Had no comms with the ECU. Spent a few hours trying to find the problem. Had to walk away. Next day, how I missed hole. There's got to be more. A hole in the main relay. I didn't know. Can't see any numbers on the chuck and jaws. Will brazing work better than welding? The pulley. I think it's too late for that. I've wrecked it. I have. I'll just get a new one. Just get another one. I'll just make one. I mean, I'll quite enjoy it. I've never made a pulley before, especially a four thingy pulley. I might have to get a different cutter for the lathe to get the angles and stuff. One of those little small ones, but it'd be cool. You know, be interesting to see if I can make a pulley. A challenge. Be a nice sort of Saturday afternoon job, and probably all day Sunday. Know me. What you need is a Bridgeport milling machine, says John. I need a bigger workshop. I mean, Sheldon's crammed in the corner over there. He needs some new casters putting on because I can't move them at the moment. Needs a frame making up at the bottom to level out the casters. But you're right. Sheldon the mill is MT3. MT2 to adapt it is a lot cheaper than a new drill. Yeah, I mean, I could use Sheldon the mill as my pillar drill. I could do that. He's quite capable of doing that. So maybe I just set it up for that. Just going to crank it up a bit more. There's no reason why not, and he doesn't get used very much either. You got me thinking now. And it has got a chuck on it. The mill has got a chuck already on it. That's what I use for the countersinks. I just like with Hollytech. It did a good job. Drilled a lot of holes with that. There's a bit of history with that machine. Mind you, drilled a lot of thousands and thousands of countersinks on Sheldon the mill. Anyway, we'll work it out. Jim Haynes, those Taiwan drill presses should be all over the world. It seems like they all look the same. Maybe somebody in the UK or US should have something very close to the same part. I think that's the case. I mean, it is only an idler pulley, and lots of pillar drill presses have idler pulleys. So it seems to be a problem that shouldn't be a problem, to be perfectly honest. Simon, on the outboard, how I missed the hole in, or how I missed the hole in the main relay, I don't know. Big hole in the middle of it. Yeah, well, that probably would do it, Simon, to be honest. Yes. So you need a new main relay. So what's the plan for today? Well, I have a list of things to do on that, obviously engine stand, that's what we're working on. There's going to be I've got some real nice hardwood, I found it, some hardwood planks that came off a hardwood pallets, believe it or not, that Ben saved for me. There's two bits of it over there, actually, on the shelf, holding some trays up. It's good stuff. It needs planing, so I'll have to go through the planer, and I've got to put some angle iron down the inside of each of the two legs to support it. I'm tempted to put a bar across the front of the two legs, only because we've got timber on there. I don't want it crashing into something and damaging the timber, so I might just front that with another piece of box. I've got some box section down there that'll do it nicely. Not the big 100 by 50 stuff. It's only 40 by 40, but it's quite thick wall, so it'd be fine for that job, just to front the timber off. I might even use, I've got some smaller stuff, some 30 by 30, so I might use some of that, rather than, because I'm getting a bit low on steel. I don't want to use stuff that I don't need to use to be fair. So I've got the wooden planks to do, which will look really nice. That'll look good. I've got some handles to put on it, and I've got all the box section to cap. And I was thinking about where the handle was going to go. And I'll use the same big thick bar that I've got, the 25mm diameter bar, inch diameter bar probably is, as the handle. Originally, I was going to just put a couple of holes in the upright and put the handle through there and weld it in. But I'm tempted now, I'm just toying with the idea now of, on the plate that I put at the top of the upright to, tidy up the box section, that has to be removable. I can't weld that into place because you've got to be able to get in to do the bolts up, because the hub's bolted to that piece. So that will be held into place with some nice cap heads. And I'll weld a couple of little brackets in there to take the cap heads. So I could mount the handle off that if I make the bracket strong enough. And that'll be quite cool. The handle will be quite high up. It'll be a lot higher up than it would be if it was, on the actual upright itself. It'll be, I think, maybe a bit too low. And the handle will be strong enough using that bar to put a strop around it and be able to lift the whole thing up with Trevor. If need be, if you want to lift the engine and the stand together, then we can do that. So, once that's done and the box section's capped, pretty much there, I think. Mrs. Mechanic will then clean everything up and paint it all, and then we'll do a final assembly, and then we can... I've still got the brackets to make that bolt the engine to the rotating plate. Still got those to do. But, once they're done, then we're done, right? So we're not too far away now. The hard work's done. So we're getting there. We are. It's taking shape. It's taken probably twice as long as I originally thought it would do, but we're getting there. And it's going to make it, I think, for me anyway, it's going to be a really good series of videos because it shows not just making something, but the working out, the thinking, the thought process behind making something. And trying to think ahead. Obviously, if I was going to make another one, which I'm not, then I could do things a little bit differently because I've already got the design sort of in my head now and want to just refine. But it's definitely going to be good enough, I'm sure, for what Ben needs. One more thing I'm thinking of doing is the hub. Obviously, the stub axle is hollow. And I've got some pieces over there that I could chuck in the lathe and machine down so that it's a nice tight fit inside the stub axle, and it'll go all the way through to the back side of the box section, hole saw through there, and then I can weld that into place. And I could do the same, I think, on the outside. So there'll be a stub sticking out that the stub axle will then slide onto. That would massively increase the strength of that stub axle. I don't think it's going to fail, but I just, want to make it bulletproof so that Ben can swing off the engine, do whatever he wants, and it's not going to cause any harm to that stub axle. Because there's a lot of leverage. I know the stub axle can cope with that kind of force on the vehicle, but the wheel is in the center of the stub axle, basically. Center line of the wheel, center line of the stub axle, usually. Whereas this application, the weight's hanging off it. So it's quite different. So you've got to think about that kind of stuff. And it wouldn't take over long to do that additional bit. And it'd be such a shame for it to break or bend, because then it's too late, isn't it? I have got one more spare hub, but I don't want to use it. Now then, where do we get to? Simon on the outboard, who I've done that one. Sheldon, make the idler on my gear. Make the idler on my gear when you down if you're over a weekend. Oh, that'd be a good idea. We could do that, couldn't we, Sheldon? Get to use your workshop and do some filming in it. That'd be nice. John, show us the parts required for the idler pulley. Okay, hang on then. It's over there in a bag. Bear with me. I'll go and get it. Here we go. Okay. I'm not sure if the idler arm is in here. So it's not very big. Bear with me. It's in a bag that you can't see on camera. All right. So this is the idler pulley. It sits in that orientation. That's right, it does, yes, because I know that because this bit here, as you can see how thin it is, look, it's been sat at an angle and it's been wearing away at the top, and that's been the noise. I completely messed it up because I tried to weld it, and there's what the weld turned out to be, which is absolutely hideous. And because this is cast iron, it's drawn the carbon from the cast iron into the weld and made it as hard as diamonds. Plus, of course, you know, this bottom pulley is almost becoming unusable anyway because it's all worn away. So there is a thought process that, hey, you know, sometimes you just got to cut your losses and just get another one. So it's probably about, it's not ideal. Let me get a ruler. Hang on. Let me give you some dimensions. And then we'll do the pie, because I heard the pie go ping. God, it's cold in here. Okay, so the biggest pulley on the outside is 90 millimeters across from the outside edge to the outside edge, 90 mil. And the smallest pulley, what's left of it, God, it has worn down a lot, hasn't it? Jeez. Which will be that one. That one there is about 50 mil on the outside. Not down in the groove. I haven't got my verniers on you to measure that. If it's down in the groove, it's about 30. Yeah, about 30 mil. And the big one is, I think it's about 10 mil, I think it's, that'd be, yeah, 90. Yeah, it's about 70 mil is down in the bottom. You can see that the belts have been making contact at the base of all the pulleys. The belts have been shot for a long time. Poor maintenance, Andy, really poor maintenance. The height of the pulley all up is about, it would have been about 65 mil from there to here. That should give you all the dimensions that you need. The bearing that was in it, Ben found me a new one, so we know exactly what that is. It's a 6202 is the bearing. Now, weirdly enough, it only has one bearing. So obviously bearings do get play in them. Two would have been better. I was going to put, if I'm going to make one, I might put a bush down the bottom. But so obviously it's been, you know, moving around, and that's why this is all rubbed away. This is the bearing was held in with a circlip, by the way. And this is the idler pivot. So it has to be able to pivot and swing depending on where your belts are. And you can see there, it's been rubbing on that. It's been rubbing on the weld. That's what the pulley's been rubbing on there, look, you see, to wear it down. So, oh, there, look, there we are. Right, so, ooh, look at that. Ooh, dug right into there. So that sits on there like that. There you go, just like that, basically. That's how it sits on the machine. And it was just a push fit. There was nothing actually holding this or retaining this in the bearing inner. The bearing was retained in the pulley, but it's not retained to this. Pulley just sits on top. And I suppose belt tension would keep that down, so that wouldn't be a problem. So that's what we need, is a new pulley. If I need to make a different spindle for this, I can do it in the lathe and weld it in. It's not a problem, so we don't have to worry about the idler, the actual idler bracket. It's just the idler pulley that I need to get. And I'm sure lots of pillar drills have got this. And I have got an old pillar drill at the back, but it's only got a plastic one, and I don't want to use a plastic one. And the belt, across the belt, you need to know this as well, don't you, belt size. So across the belt, or across one of these, we'll do the top one because it's done the least amount of work, is about 11 mil. So it's the small, what I would say is the small fan belt size for a car, not the bigger one, which is on the patrols and stuff, which I think is about 14 mil. So it's the normal car size, old school fan belt, alternator belt size that it runs. I don't think the belts have got anything on them. Hang on. Now, there's nothing to say that these belts are actually the correct ones for the pillar drill because, you know, it's old. Oh, this one's got some rain on. So we've got an OptiBelt VB on there, look. A680, 13 by 650. So it's 13 millimeters across on the flanks. So that's the size of the belt that it uses. Oh, look how thin that one is. It's absolutely, how cracked it is as well. Look at that. Absolutely knackered, Andy. It just hung in there though. It did a great job. Drilled thousands and thousands and thousands of holes. Probably in that state. It could have failed at any second, to be honest. Anyway, pie's nearly ready. So we'll just finish the comments and we're going to get the pie. Oh, that's cold. We'll put it on the heater. It might take the edge off it. Sheldon, I've got some 90mm Supercut 20 HD alloy bar. You're the man. You are the man. I can always bring that bit down if you want it, but that's about 120, so we'd have to take quite a bit off that. Okay, it's a plan, Sheldon. We will, it's going to be, when is it? November when I come down. So we'll plan ahead, we'll plan a weekend, we'll do some filming, we'll make a new idler gear. That'll be awesome. I really appreciate that, mate. And I get a chance to work on your big lathe. Ooh. I'm quite dangerous on machinery, I have to tell you that. Things don't always go to plan. Okay, pie time. 3, 2, 1, turn you around. Boom. Okay. Now, must not knock Steve's cup off. It's on the heater, look. Keep him warm. Warming up, actually. Right, here we go. Bum, bum, bum. If you've not clicked the like button, now's a good time to do it. While we're here, this is my list for the engine stand. So casters and brackets done, vertical box adjustments done. I've got the timber deck to do. Locking mechanism. Oh, we could tick that off. That's done now. Final mounts for engine to rotating table. Yeah, that's still to do. Handles, vertical box top cover, which is, I think will be the handle as well together. Blank off the box ends, clean up paint, final assembly. So, yeah, there's still a bit to do, but you know we're rattling through it, and it'll be good. Right, what have we got? Oh, there's a massive crack. Look at that. Thermal expansion. Okay, it's going to get cold pretty quick, so we're going to whiz back, and I'm going to go through the pie. Nice. Only clean place in the workshop on there. Right. Turn you around. 3, 2, 1. Boom. There we go. Back in action. Okay. Right. So, those that have just joined us, this is a Westy Grunta bacon and egg pie. 200 grams, standard size, comes with a free picture of a hot rod. Very nice. I actually quite like their packaging, actually. But we'll know more about that when we come to score the packaging, won't we? Okay, so, structural check post-heat. And we can see that the thermal expansion has caused a problem here. Look, we've got a crack running down. Doesn't go into the base, which is good. The base is not bad. Actually, not bad at all. Better than the other one. Okay, top's good. Right. Stick that over there for a second. Have you seen the state of the cardboard now? Look, this is years old. It's the same piece that we did ages ago. Never been changed. Absolutely disgusting it is now. Keep my pie well away from that thing. Right. Okay, we're going in. Look at that. Oh, that's the perfect temperature. That is so nice and warm, and you realise how cold you are when you eat a nice hot pie. Good job. Jim Haynes. If concerned about the idler arm to the bearing staying tight, a couple of dabs of thread locker should do it. Yeah, I could do that. That would work. Or I could, it's in the bag now, I could drill and tap that pin that goes up through the bearing and just put like an M8 bolt and a washer that sits on the other side of the bearing, just running against the inner race. That might work. But it didn't move. I think the belt tension holds it down. It shouldn't really be a problem. And there's obviously quite a bit of force holding it down because, you know, it caused that pulley to wear down when the bearing started to the bearing didn't collapse. The bearing came loose between the outer of the bearing and the pulley itself, allowing the whole thing to cockle over. Not ideal. But it's been making a noise for years, so it was probably demised when I first bought it, to be honest. Oh, man, that's good. Absolutely full of bacon. There's so much bacon in there. Look at that. Normally, when we get a bacon and egg one, it's nearly all egg with a smidgen of bacon here and there. That's brilliant. Because eggs are a lot cheaper than bacon is. Okay. Wow. It was just packed. Okay, taste, stroke, flavour. For a bacon and egg pie, that's pretty damn good. I'm going to give it an 8. Structure Foley Partners. Man, this thing is solid. I think we've already eaten oh no, the crack's down there. But it's just solid. It's the eggs holding everything together. You know, it's just great. So I'm going to put a 10 on that. I don't see any problems at all. I think that crack at the back is purely superficial. If it develops, then obviously we'll bring the score down. Runnability. I mean, look at that. I don't have to hold it there. I can hold it upside down. Look at that. Boom. Full 90 degrees. Nothing is going to come out of there. Absolutely solid. Full marks on that one as well. Meat quality. Okay, so it's bacon in a pie. They're not going to use the top quality bacon. It is just a pie. And remember, they only charge, I think the normal price is about $4 for these pies. They're actually one of the cheapest pies out there. Wow. Really good. Meat quality. I'll give it a 7, I think. For that, it's not bad. Okay, this is where we do the filling to the pastry ratio. Well, you tell me. What do you think about that? Go on, get on the comments real quick. We've scored hundreds of pies together. You give me a score, people, to what you think that is. That, to me, is very, very full, and there's a lot of filling there compared to the amount of pastry. So you should be scoring it pretty high. Go on. First one to come through gets the score. What have we got? I'm waiting. Dum, 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 dum. You can do it. Give me a score out of 10 for that. Filling versus pastry. Cross section. Who's going to give me a score? Right, I'm going to have another nibble. I'm getting hungry. It's just really nice. Good breakfast pie. Ten. Thank you, Simon. Good man. Now, availability stroke logistics. This is where the Westy pies did struggle a little bit because I've never seen them before. It might be new, I don't know. But the upside is this was sold at a Countdown supermarket. So yes, you could order it online and they'll send it to you with the other shopping. So that's a bonus. So there's a lot of Countdown supermarkets around. And I mean, even though they're made in West Auckland, I'm pretty sure they weren't made in West Auckland, called Westy Pies. Yes, made in West Auckland. So they've made it a long way down the country. So that would sort of suggest to me that a lot of the Countdown supermarkets are stocking this pie. So lots of outlets. Now, sure, you can't eat the pie there and then because they're all in the fridge. But pretty good. I'm going to give them... I haven't seen it at a petrol station before, which is a shame because, you know, pies are great for road trips, and that's why a lot of pies get eaten. So they're missing out a little bit there. So I'm going to give it... I give them a 7, I think. I think if they can get one of the brands of petrol station on board for their pies, they will take off big time because they're nice and they're cheap. I mean, to give you an idea of price, the Wild Bean Cafe, which is at the BP petrol stations, gourmet steak and cheese is now $7.20. Yeah, it's gone over $7. It's expensive. For what it is, it's really expensive. And also, I think the quality of that particular pie has dropped a little bit, unfortunately. Sorry, Wild Bean Cafe, but I think it has. They're not a sponsor. Every pie that I've had on the live stream from them, I've paid for. Pastry taste rating. Okay. It's just pastry. Just your bog standard pastry. There's no other flavour than just pastry. There's no herbs, nothing like that. So the pastry actually is a little bit bland, really. But as pastry goes, I'll give them a 6. Packaging is still tasty when cold. It's not quite cold just yet, but I am going to have to keep eating it. Good. Okay. The packet. Obviously plastic. It's covered in little holes. You can see those there, look. Yeah, you can see those on the black background. Covered in little holes, so it's fine in a pie warmer at a petrol station. It won't get all soggy. It's got a nice car on the front, which a lot of people will like. It's got a clear window around the car, so you can see the pie on the inside, so you can see what you're buying. I think it's very distinctive. Basic, distinctive. There's different coloured cars based on the contents of each pie, each flavour. So it's easy to spot the pie that you want. They're giving you lots of nutritional information and where it's made, allergens, ingredients. They even give you some heating instructions. So there's a little bit of effort gone into the design of this packet. I think they've done pretty damn well. It ticks a lot of boxes for me in the fact that it's got the window, it's appealing. Has the, you know, pretty simple though. So, you know, you could soon knock that together on Photoshop, couldn't you? Oh, there's the first one. Okay, so what are we going to give them for that? Boxes and stuff tend to get 10. This is not quite to that level. What do you reckon? A 9? Is it worth 9? Maybe an 8? It's pretty high, isn't it? It's pretty good. It certainly stands out on the shelf to other pies. I will give them... I'll give them a 9 for that. I think they got the extra point from 8 because somebody's drawn all these different cars. So every different flavour of pie has got a different car drawing on it. That takes a bit of doing. That's a bit of effort. You've got to remember, you've got to accept that. It's not just a paper bag with a Wild Bean Cafe stamp on it. They're very proud of these pies, obviously. Good. Look at that. A bit more egg now, but there's still a fair bit of bacon in there. It's good. Okay, recyclable score. Well, it isn't. It's plastic. It has to go in the bin. They don't tell us. So realistically, they only get a 1. They only get 1. One of that. 1 for those. Okay. Post pie heartburn. We've already had 1 burp, so we're down to 9. That's in abeyance at the moment. Pie server attractiveness. Now, it was a lady that served us yesterday at the supermarket. Middle-aged. She was very pleasant. Said hello. Neat and tidy. As Norbit would say, neat and tidy. Simon is now laughing, right? I bet you are, Simon. Okay. Six. Okay, it's cooled right off now. It's not quite as tasty as it was, to be fair. That coffee's about 2 degrees warmer than it was, and it's still cold. Okay, yeah, so still tasty when cold. I think it would be all right. It wouldn't be a, that was nice. It's going to get cold bacon and egg. It's a bit like a quiche, isn't it? I'll give it a 5. I think a 5. I think that's as high as I can go with a cold bacon and egg pie. Okay. 2 more scores to go. Stuffability score. 1 more bite to go. It's going in. Say goodbye. It's the last time you'll see one of these. Okay. Post pie heartburn, 9. Stuffability score. Pretty good, actually. I don't really need anything else to eat, so it scored. I'm not still hungry. I don't feel over full or bloated. Not anymore. Anyway, I'll give it 10. Okay, so it's got full marks on that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All the scores are in, which means we've got to do some arithmetic. So you can help me with that. I'll turn you around. 3, 2, 1, boom. Jeez, nearly fell over. Right, put that up there for safety. Okay, we're going in. Are you ready? Prepare for tilting. Where's my little notch? Where's the notch? Where's the notch? Oh, falling off the bench there. Oh, YouTube's getting upset again. Okay. Right. We have got, well, first of all, we need to put the name of the pie on, don't we? So it's a Westy Grunta. Oh dear. Okay, so we're down to 8 for the heartburn. Hello! Who we got now? Mrs. Mechanic.
Coffee.
Oh, I'll do your swap. You have this one back, look, because that one's cold and it's got bits of pie in it.
Lovely.
Cheers. Thank you. Oh, nice hot coffee. Right. Okay, back down to the scores. There we go. Okay, right. Oh, now what's going on? Keys? There we go. Interruptions here. Right, so we've got 28. Oh, man. 28, 35, 45. Brain fart. 45, 52. 58, 63, 72, 73, that's an 8 by the way, 81, 91, holy crap, 97. Hopefully I'm correct. 97 points out of a possible 130. That's not bad going. Let's go and see where that ended up. Didn't like that, did it? Let's go and see where that ended up. So there's all your scores. Look, Westy Grunta, bacon and egg. There you go. The scribble is an 8. 97. Hopefully my arithmetic is correct. Let's see what. Jeez. Honestly, can't get the staff these days. 97. Oh, there we go. Look. Oh, bacon and egg. Bake Shack, 97. Almost identical score. Dad's Pies Pepper Steak, 200 gram, very tasty, 97. Wild Bean Cafe Classic Steak and Cheese 97. So it made it onto the main board, which means I'd buy it again. I would actually. I'd buy that again. So I need to get some more of these. I know I've not had a chance yet. I will. I'm taking lots of photos. I've got lots to put up. Lots and lots to put up. So we'll have quite an increased number of pies on the board. Right, we'll stick that up there. I've got to take a photo of that. Don't forget Andy. Okay, see, a little bit of shrapnel on the bench. Not too bad though, really. I've had a million times worse than that. You've got to expect a few crumbs, haven't you, really? Right, turning around, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Get rid of the pulley. Move my coffee, my nice hot coffee that I've got. Thank you, Mrs. Mechanic. That should work. We're about there. Okay. Oh, just get you nice and level because none of us like things that aren't level. Okay, there we go. Right. So, don't need that, don't need that, don't need the ruler anymore until later on when I'm doing my stuff. Get rid of that. Okay, we are organised. We've had some stuff come through there. 97 is correct. Thanks, Lee. Appreciate it. It's easy to make a mistake when you're on camera, you know. Nothing important there. We will talk, Jim. Just not right now. Oh, Simon, eBay. Oh my God, look at the length of that link. What's he got here? Look at that. The power of the internet. It's phenomenal. How much does he want for £34? What the hell? Oh, I think it's got a keyway in it. All right, I'll have to have a look at that a bit more closely. If that's going to work. Doesn't have a bearing support though, does it? Doesn't have a bearing in there by the looks of it. It sits on a spindle with, and it is a 5'4". It might be too tall to fit. I'll have to have a measure up and have an idea. I would quite like to make one with Sheldon though. I think that would be pretty cool. We will continue our look. I need to said hunt because we'll continue our hunt. Now, where do we get to? Hang on. Simon, the pulley needs a Ivan fix, no parts required. It does, doesn't it, really? That's a 10 on filling, thank you. Lee Newton, 9. Oh, sorry, Lee, you got pipped to the post. Simon gave it a 10. John, make a bung that fits the top above your welding area and then make a longer shaft to the bung can be an interference fit and grub screwed as required. Just a thought. Yeah, it would work. I mean, there's lots of things we could do, right? There's lots of ways of saving that pulley. I think the biggest problem for me is I don't think the flanks are particularly badly worn with it being a cast iron pulley, but the problem is we've lost a lot of material on this one down here. This is actually sharp and it's also starting to break off. Can you see that? Look on there. Yeah, you can see that it's actually starting to break off because it's so thin as well. So I honestly think this pulley really, especially given what I did to it, is now expired. It's now got to the point where it's saying, I've had enough, I want to retire. I think. Really. Simon, yes. Very neat and tidy. There we go. Jim K, time for a warm-up on the coffee. Yes, most definitely. Oh, now it's bang tidy. What? Jim K, it's 35 degrees here today. So hot. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it. It's freezing down here. There's probably still a frost on the grass. Lee Newton. Lee Newton. We have Wild Bean cafes here in the UK too. Wow. Do you have the same pies? Do you have a gourmet steak and cheese in England? Be interesting. What needs so many belts? Okay, so there's only 2 belts in it's. So a pillar drill, if you're English, pillar drill. If you're American, it's a drill press, and people in New Zealand also call them drill presses. When I call them a pillar drill, they're like, huh? Anyway, that's all right. I educate them. Queen's English and all that. Because, anyway, we won't go there. So the motor has a belt to this idler pulley, and then the idler pulley has a belt to the spindle, which is where your chuck is connected to. So at any given time, only 2 of these pulleys, these different sizes, are in use. And the reason why it has 4 is it gives you different ratios. So on your motor, you've got another one very similar to this. And then on the spindle itself, which has got the chuck on it, you've got another one with 4 on. And you can move the belts up and down depending on what ratio or what speed you want the chuck to rotate at. Very, very useful. Priscilla only has, it doesn't have an idler pulley. It only has a pulley on the motor and a pulley on the spindle where the chuck is. So you've only got 4 different speed ranges on Priscilla. Now, I'll have to have a closer look. It might actually have had an idler that's failed in the past, and somebody just fitted a larger belt and bypassed the idler just to get the drill up and running, and sort of coped with just 4 different speeds. It's a little bit quick for the bigger drill bits, to be fair, but it manages okay with the small stuff. It's fine, no problems at all. Hole saws, it struggles with. You can be very careful you don't burn the motor out with the hole saws. So yeah, I'll have to have another look. I can't remember if it's missing its idler pulley or not. That's another option with the Hollytech, is just to go, you know what, just run it with 2 pulleys, but it'd be too fast. And it wouldn't, and I use that for drilling the big stuff. So, I need to gear it down. Simon, no, but we have a really good bacon and cheese turnover and good coffee in the Wild Bean. The Wild Bean is run by Marks and Spencer. Is it? Marks and Spencer's. I used to go to Marks and Spencer's all the time as a kid. Morning, Mum. Marks and Spencer's. They did a caramelly type popcorn. It was in a bag, a clear bag, and it was the best popcorn I have ever had. And I as a kid, I really, it was obviously very bad for you. It's full of sugar and stuff, and it would all stick to your teeth. But it was the best popcorn ever, without a doubt. It was really nice, and I miss that. Miss that a lot. We used to get it at Christmas time, I think, that popcorn. Mum would remind me. I don't know. Lee Newton, interesting. Thank you for the explanation. No problem at all, matey. No problem at all. So yeah, where are we now? So I'm having my coffee and I need a cigarette, and then we're all done, I think. What time are we on? Oh yeah, wow. Put that on the heater, right? Keep it a bit warmer. So I don't think I'll get everything finished today. Next weekend. So when I go to Auckland tomorrow, because I'm in Auckland Monday to Wednesday, I've got visits to do each day. I also have to take the little trailer, the little Ifa Williams, the twin axle, and it needs a warrant of fitness, an inspection, a bit like an MOT in England. Trailers here in New Zealand have to have an MOT. In England, they didn't when I was there. I'm not sure if they do now or not. Simon will tell us. I don't want to restart Windows, thank you. That would be really bad at this point in time. So I've got to call in and get a warrant of fitness done on my way up. Hopefully it's going to pass. I've got to fit all the sides to it today because the tyres do stick slightly beyond the bed of the trailer, the tread edge of the tyre, and that's a warrant of fitness fail. But if it has the sides on, the sides add about another inch of width, and that covers the tyre and they can't fail it. You've got to think ahead, right? And I've got on Tuesday, I've got an ROV, a side-by-side to load up. And on Wednesday, when I head south, I'll be bringing that with me on the trailer. And next weekend, I've got another one to underseal. I know I said I wouldn't do any more, and I've been asked to do another one, and there is nobody else that will do it. I feel very cornered, to be honest. I hate doing them now. They're horrible things. That even though you wear a mask, all that kind of stuff, the fumes get you, and it's it's not good for your health. But anyway, it needs to be done. So we'll get it all prepped up, ready on the Saturday. I might even spray it on the Saturday, and then I've got a nice clean Sunday just to finish off this engine stand. Maybe we'll see. I don't know, but it has to be sprayed by Sunday night, because then it'll be left for a week to cure. It'll go back together the following weekend, and then I'm going back up to Auckland that week after that weekend, so I can take it back up then. But it's good to see another one go out. It really is. It's really good to see another one go out to the surf clubs. Yeah, undersealing. But Jared sorted me out with the underseal, which is great. He had some on the shelf. That was really lucky. Last time round he'd run out, and it was hard work finding some underseal. I tell you, it seems to be, they don't seem to have a lot of it in Auckland. It's weird. And of course, Ben's not here next weekend, so he can't underseal it, so I've got to do it. Such is life. Simon, yes, I remember that popcorn. Oh, good man. And the still lemonade. Yes, I remember that as well, the lemonade. Bizarre. Roger Heaps, hit the like. Thank you, Roger. John Nuttall, is the go-karts going all electric, as petrol will not be available when it's completed, lol? You're a funny guy. You're very funny. No, it's honestly, it's not going electric. That would go against every single cell in my body at the moment, as my thoughts towards electric vehicles. Incidentally, as you know, I drive around New Zealand quite a bit, and I've noticed, it might just be me, but I seem to have noticed a lot more car fires. Now, not the actual car itself on fire, but you get all the tarmac that's burnt and all the grass has been burnt, and it's clearly been a car fire at the side of the road. Seems to be a lot more of those nowadays. And I can't imagine it's the petrol cars, because we know how to build petrol cars safely. I imagine that majority of the extra ones are electric cars that have caught fire. Now, obviously, I've got no evidence to support this, but it does seem that they're starting to have a few problems. And all those problems are getting worse. And I did also notice, I get like a news feed from the UK on bits and pieces, and there was one, I think it was in the Daily Mail or something it was, and it said that there was another electric bus had caught fire. So clearly the UK is having problems with their electric bus fleet, catching fire, which is really bad if you're a passenger on the bus at the time. Really is. So I don't know what the future of these electric cars is, to be honest. I think the public, and we've talked about this over the years quite a bit now and again, and I think the general public's view of electric cars is definitely shifting. Now, there's still going to be those hardened electric car owners that try to support the fact that they made the right decision buying one. And maybe for their application, it actually is a significant improvement on reducing costs. And they just like all the gizmos and gadgets. And that's fine. For that minority group, that's their choice. But I think for the everyday family that normally uses a car to go to work, and the same car to do long distance drives, and the same car to tow a trailer to the tip, and the same car to do whatever, I think that family is now feeling the pain a little bit with the electric car that they've purchased to replace the petrol car. Just doesn't quite do everything as well. And of course, the car is getting older. Now, sure, they're going to be saving money on servicing, but as the car ages, it's going to need some pretty serious repairs at some point. And I think those repairs are going to be a lot more expensive than the equivalent petrol car repairs. So they're going to start to feel that as well in the wallet. So thank you, John, for that segue. Got me another rant out of Andy there. Simon, YVSP engine in the go-kart. You keep trying. If it goes on any longer, the kids can have a Hayabusa engine in it. Well, that might be my plan because I've got a couple of nice engines tucked away, and one of them would be absolutely brilliant for a go-kart. Incredibly dangerous, and everything else about the go-kart would not be suitable for said engine, but it would be, probably for a short time, a lot of fun. Maybe. Nick Young, in Australia, I've read somewhere a few months ago that they plan on increasing regio and petrol prices with huge tax increases to not ban them, but to make them far, far too expensive to run. I think the UK is doing a similar thing over there. I keep seeing threats on Facebook that that's what they're planning to do. I don't know. I think that's a bit harsh considering all... Oh. Are you going for a ride?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, they're off on the e-bikes again. E-bikes, electric bikes. God's sake, honestly, the world's full of it, isn't it? I think it's a bit harsh to be penalising the internal combustion engine owners and try to force them into buying EVs when EVs have so many problems. Hybrids, I'm still on the fence with hybrids. I think they certainly have their place, and they've got more of a place in the world than EVs. They are, to all intents and purposes, a lot cheaper to run. But don't forget, they're twice as complicated. They've got all the EV stuff, pretty much, and all the petrol engine stuff. So there's a lot more components to go wrong. So therefore, more chance of failure, potentially, and more cost to run, as in repairs. And you've still got the servicing to do. So, yeah. Rock and a hard place, isn't it, really? I just stick with my petrol vehicles and my diesel vehicles and just get on with life. And it is what it is. Luckily, I have a company car, so it doesn't bother me. Simon, got a Phaser 6 engine looking for something silly to put it in. I bet you are. John Nuttall, I'll try to stay well clear of Teslas on a motorway. Don't want them at the side of me in a pile-up. No, you don't. You really, really don't. And there's more and more disadvantages, more and more restrictions to where EVs can be parked here in New Zealand. Car parks, insurance companies are getting a little bit jittery about you parking them, under your house and that kind of thing. Multi-story car parks are starting to ban them because they're a lot heavier than a normal car, and it's overloading the buildings because there's so many EVs now. It's becoming a bit of a problem, to be honest. And I think the most recent one, there was a ship bringing, I think we talked about this before, there was about 3,300 cars on this car transporting ship from China. About 800 of those vehicles were EVs. One of the EVs had a bit of a fit and caught fire, as they do. They're so closely parked, they couldn't put the fire out. It spread across the ship. Basically, they had to abandon the ship and it sank, as far as I'm aware. And that shipping company now has banned EVs from the remaining fleet. I think that's the thin end of the wedge. I think there's going to be problems now shipping those EVs around the world if the shipping companies are stepping back. If Connor's still on, he might be able to chip in on this. In fact, I think he already has. They are a massive liability. They really are when it comes to those long distance shipping across the oceans. If something goes wrong, not a lot you can do, There really isn't. I mean, maybe they should put them in containers, and if they catch fire, at least the container might contain the fire a little bit, and they can just jettison the container off the side of the ship. I don't know. I don't know what the plan is, but it's bad. It really is, very bad, and very, very costly as well when it goes wrong. Is the shipping company going to claim back from the EV company for the damage, for the loss of the ship, loss of the vessel? I don't know. I would. It wasn't their fault it caught fire, was it? Connor K, here we go. There has been a noticeable increase with fires on roll-on and roll-off RO ships in recent times due to EV battery fires. Bingo. And that's from the horse's mouth. Connor knows his shit, don't you, Connor? It's not good, you know, and it's those shipping companies that do, if they do decide to continue to ship those EVs, will put a premium charge. You know, basically you got to transport those dangerous goods, and that'll all that'll do is bump up the price of the EVs. Excellent. Oh, I think we've gone out. Too much talking. Hang on. Simon, Kawasaki have a hybrid. All of them have been recalled. Yeah, says it all, doesn't it, really? So many problems. EVs, right, you know, from years ago when we first started talking about them, I wasn't very impressed, and I had some pretty pessimistic viewpoint on the vehicles and where they were going to go. And I think, to be fair, I've sort of been proved right. Obviously, they're not going to go away tomorrow. They're going to be around for a lot longer. Some main car manufacturers have turned away from EVs now and looking back at ICE engines in vehicles and alternatives, you know, hydrogen engines and so on. So I think their time has come and gone. And the only people that pay for it, well, the planet, first of all, and the consumer. They're going to be landed with vehicles which their value has plummeted. The resale value is just, you're almost stuck with the vehicle to the end of its life, whenever that's going to be, until it catches fire or dies or isn't viable to repair. A lot more EVs are also written off if they have an accident to a normal car. And they're also very, very difficult to handle in an emergency, in an accident situation on the road. You know, road recovery companies are very dubious about putting them on flatbeds because they can catch fire again. And if they do make it back to the yard without the lorry burning down to the ground, then they've got to isolate the vehicles. They take up a lot more storage space, and they have to be in a contained area with concrete blocks and stuff. So if they do flare up again, they don't take out other vehicles. It's just a palaver. It's an absolute ball ache for every part of the industry and emergency services concerned. It's just not good. It's not good at all. And I think if you made a proposal now, knowing all the downsides of EVs, I think governments would walk away and say, nope, we're not doing that. But they've already gone down that road, pardon the pun, and they don't have a lot of choice but to see it through without losing face. But we all pay, right? I mean, every taxpayer in New Zealand has paid for EVs. The government gave incentives to people buying new EVs. Here, have $5,000 free towards buying an EV. Where did that money come from? It came from the taxpayer, and that money could have been paid towards hospitals and fixing all the potholes in the roads and that kind of thing. But no, they just gave it away. Very sad, isn't it, really? I think maybe the same thing happened in the UK, where there was an incentive to buy EVs. I don't know. Maybe Simon can help with that one. Nick Young, insurance companies refuse to pay out when they prove you had a charger plugged into cars, bikes and scooters if they were under your roof or separate carport or garage. Wow. So no insurance whilst on charge. That's interesting. Bit of a get out. Simon, what I don't get is the 90s, a diesel got 45 miles per gallon. With a DPF, they're getting 30 to 40 on a run. Engine's not breathing very well, is it? That's the problem. It's and they require a lot more maintenance. This direct injection stuff, they require a lot more maintenance. It's not good. It's not good at all, in all honesty. And it's the consumer that pays. What have we got? Roger Heaps sent a photo. Oh, there, look. There's the puppy. It's not really a puppy. Wow. Big dogs. There, look. You can see him a bit better there, look. Wow. Monsters. Thanks, Roger. Not for here, though. Sorry. Mrs. Mechanic would go mental if I came over one of those dogs. She really would. So there you go. EVs, another rant. Thank you for the segue. Appreciate that. So there we are. We're at the end of a live stream. Another live stream, Mandy Mechanics Workshop. I know these live streams are not particularly popular, and what I will tell you is, hand on heart, every single live stream that I put out loses me subscribers. Every single one of them. But it's not all about that. You know, I do the live streams because I enjoy our chats with you hardened viewers, the regulars, and I really, really appreciate you being around and supporting the channel. And I will continue to do live streams for as long as I'm around. Simple as that. It's a big part of the channel, and it gives us a chance to talk about all sorts of stuff. So I appreciate it, and thank you for your time. I'm going to have to go now. I've got an engine stand to finish, or at least get some more stuff done on it. And I will see you all again in a couple of weeks' time. I really hope there'll be the episode 1 of the engine stand video hitting the channel within the next 7 days. Fingers crossed. All right, crew. Thank you again for everything you do for the channel, all your support, and those that call me during the week and send me messages and things. It keeps me going. So thank you. I'll see you. Oh yeah, don't forget to hit the like right now. See you around, guys. Cheers. Over and out.